Welcome to Catholic Life, where we spotlight ordinary people with extraordinary faith. I'm Dina Dale, your host, and I am so happy to have with us today the director and an educator from the St. Margaret Castella Rouge program here in the Diocese of Baton Rouge. So with us is Kristy Monsour and Hope Werner, and they're going to share us their roles in the diocese for special needs, those young students and children and families that are involved with opportunities to help them in education through their special needs, their adaptive needs, and of course, a place of hospitality and love and growth. So thanks so much for being here. And it's kind of strange to be on TV and talk about what you do every day.
It's easy because we love it.
I know, and that's why I really want you guys to come on and talk about this program. It's nothing new to the diocese, so we'll get into the details of that. But tell us a little bit about yourselves. Where are you from? How did you get involved with this? And think about your family. Shout out to your husband.
So we have, I'm from Mandeville, Louisiana. I grew up there, went to LSU, stayed here. I have 3 kids, a senior and a freshman in high school, and a little girl in 5th grade at Marci. And we have a special needs member of our family who has really inspired us to embrace the community. All my children, myself, my family, all have learned to be a little bit more embracing those who need a little bit more assistance. And that's what our goal is in this program, is to help everyone get their needs met and provide them with a Catholic environment to go to school and be an example.
Yeah. Is that how you got involved with this? I mean, you have dyslexia training, right? But
I do. So I started dyslexia training when I was assistant principal at Our Lady of Mercy. Our principal is from Redemptorist, where all this started. So he really believed that all the kids can get help. So he sent 5 of us to get dyslexia training.
Oh, wow.
We also had the special needs program at Marci. So we had the Rouge program for special ed and the dyslexia lab.
Gotcha.
So, and I was assistant principal there. So that's kind of how I became into this role.
Right.
I had the dyslexia training. I worked with the special ed class on all of their schedules and integrating the kids into our school. And so when this opening came out, I was like, this is going to be a good little transition.
Yeah, a perfect fit. And you've served this role for
this will be my
3rd
3rd year.
3rd year. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, 3rd year.
I've been in Catholic education for 18.
Yeah, because you were a teacher before
I was
that
a
in the classroom.
teacher. I was a 4th, 5th grade teacher.
Uh-huh.
And then I became a reading resource teacher,
Yeah.
which led me into the whole dyslexia path. It all just kind of, and then in that role, I also took in evaluations of students. So any child at our school who had an evaluation with ADHD or autism or any kind of learning needs, I was the one who would process it and spread out the accommodations.
Wow.
So that's how I,
Yeah.
yeah.
God had his planned in that, for you
100%.
too, if you're looking back on that. So I hope you're a special education teacher. Is that how you would classify yourself as? I mean, is that like the appropriate title for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you grew up in this area across the Mississippi River.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I grew up in Point Capee and then came over here for LSU. Married a Catholic boy who went to Our Lady of Mercy. Got married at Our Lady of Mercy, had our 3 children. They all went to Our Lady of Mercy, went to Catholic High, 3 boys. Now 2 of them are in college, and my oldest is a state police officer in Houma.
Thanks for that, Mom. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so we have, big roots at Our Lady of Mercy, which is where I am teaching now.
How did you get into special education? You were talking about a little inspiration there that hit you.
Yeah, growing up, I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. I have a sister who's 14 months older than I am, and she and I were always playing teacher. And, she and I also, growing up, we danced. So one year, we were somehow chosen to dance at the opening ceremonies of the Special Olympics. Uh-huh. So we went, and after we did that, my parents said, okay, now we're going to stay, and you guys are going to be huggers. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hug her. Like, well, as the athletes come off of, the field or whatever, you hug them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. And, they were like, no, you're going to do this. So reluctantly, my sister and I did it. And at the end of the night, I was just, this is what I want to do with my life. So, from there, just God led me where I needed to be throughout the process of teaching and, getting certified in other areas. And I ended up here.
So you have an extensive certification too, because you started at the School for the Deaf. So you have sign language certification.
Right. I got my master's degree in deaf education. So I was at the School for the Deaf for about 11 years.
Wow.
And also got my early intervention certification with that because I worked with younger children and the families.
Great.
So when they were identified as babies, worked with those families. And moved on, just my own personal family needs changed. So moved on, needed to be home a little bit, and became involved with Early Steps program to be a private provider, just to work part-time, be more with my own kids. And that's where I saw the need to go back and get certified for children with autism.
Oh, wow.
So that was a very intense training. And, looking back on it now, that has really helped me in this program. And it was actually, during a hiatus where I decided, I have kids at Marci.
Yeah.
I just want to be a mom and volunteer. I was substitute teaching for someone long-term who was having a baby. And when I was in the classroom, I'm like, oh, I miss this.
Yeah.
I really miss this.
Yeah.
God, what am I going to do after this? And I knew that they had the special ed program at Our Lady of Mercy, but there was just one class. And I had actually substituted in that class with the assistant that I have now, who is just, a mentor to me. I mean, she's my salvation. And I'm like, that's the only place I'm certified to be because, regular ed was something I never got certified in. And as that time neared that it was time for me to be leaving, the teacher that was in that role needed to leave, and that position became available.
Wow.
Like, okay, I asked,
Step in. Yeah.
is this really what I want to do? And, it's like, hello, what more of a sign do you want? So that was almost 7 years ago now, and I've never regretted it
that's
for a minute.
So, Kristy, talk about the Blessed Margaret Castella Reach program. I mean, what exactly is it in our diocese? What's the history of our diocese, just generally? And then how did this particular program come about, and how does it serve?
So our program has been in existence. We just finished the 60th year. It started in 1962. It's been at various locations. It was here at the diocese. It's been at Redemptorist in different forms. And today we have 4 schools, St. Thomas More, Our Lady of Mercy, Redemptorist, and St. Michael High School, who house our students. And this upcoming year, we're going to have 80 students in the special education program, which 2 years ago we had 50. So we are really growing. They have also dyslexia is another umbrella. So we have the special needs, and we have dyslexia. We have 9 schools with the labs. So I employ the teacher, and they go to the school and work with the students of that school.
I see.
And they pull them out of class during the week for about 120 minutes each.
Oh, wow.
They're certified academic language therapists, and all of them come together quarterly to meet and talk about how we can do better, talk about kids' progress, and then they also help their schools learn about dyslexia and how to accommodate these children in their classes.
Wow.
It's a good model because, for one, everybody in these schools are seeing that people are diverse and different and have special needs that they may not look like special needs. They may walk fine, be physically fine, but they're embracing and they're learning what it means to be maybe somewhat different than someone else.
Yeah.
Our kids at the special needs schools are such a joy on those campuses that I'll walk down the halls and the kids in the St. Thomas More hallway will say, "How are you?" And they'll call kids by name and they'll high five them in the hall. And it's really made them come to be a little empathetic, and just there's never any issue of bullying or singling out. It's more of an embracing. And the principals and the pastors, they all do the same thing. They include our children, and the parents, they bring their siblings to that school so their families can stay together, which is a very good aspect of our program too, is that we can keep families together. Because it would be where you'd have to send either dyslexic
Different
child
places.
or
Yeah.
autistic child, or whatever that needs to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
But now I'm so proud that our schools can have these children in them
together.
Yeah.
What's your greatest joy when you're serving these students and their families? Which one are your greatest joys?
My goodness, there's just so much. The kids, for one. The kids are just amazing, and I work with the younger kids. So I work kindergarten through usually 3rd, 4th grade. It depends on the year. They're just, they're my kids, and they're. And, I've had some of these kids for 3 years or even more, because I get to see them as they move on to the older class. And just to watch where they were and be able to see that growth, like a regular 1st grade teacher might teach them in 1st grade, and then they move on and they don't see them for a couple of years, and they're like, wow, but to be able to continue with that and see that progress. And, it's like there's always yelling and screaming of high five moments in our class, because we celebrate everything. And they encourage each other, and, it's a family. We are family. We're a team. And like she said, when the Dyslexia Lab people get together and talk about we work with them. We talk to each other. We work with each other. Okay, this is just not working. What would you do? And, and it's not just teachers, it's the parents too.
Yeah.
We have the most amazing parents. And so, we can go to them at any time and say, look, how would you handle this? How can we work? And it goes both ways. Yeah. It's amazing. I had a parent actually contact me yesterday afternoon, and it's nothing to me to be contacted. It's like, this is just what we do.
Yeah.
And actually, we all, one of my parents had facilitated all of the students, and about half of them came, going to see the Minions movie.
Oh, yeah.
So we got together a couple of weeks ago, and we all met at the movies, and it was just a great time.
So
the kids just become really close to each other.
Yeah.
We become close to the parents, and it's beautiful the way it works together.
And I love the way it models for the school too. So we're out of time for this segment, but on our next segment, we're going to bring on a parent who's going to talk about her experience with her daughter in the St. Margaret Castella. I want to say blessed, but she's a saint now.
She just got promoted to be a saint last year.
Last year, the Rouge program here in the Diocese of Baton Rouge. So I hope, thanks for being with us. Kristy's going to stay with us through the break. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Buying local products should be about freshness, and that's what we do here at River Road Coffees. We get our coffee on the shelf within about a week, and maximum, it comes off the shelf in 3 months. We don't even think our competitors get it on the shelf in 3 months.
Welcome back to Catholic Life. As we spotlight ordinary people with extraordinary faith, we're continuing our conversation about St. Margaret Castella Reach program here in the Diocese of Baton Rouge with Program Director Kristy Monsour, and now introducing Marci Blaize. She's one of the parents Her daughter is a participant and enrolled in the Rouge program here at Our Lady of Mercy, one of the satellite, I guess, we call schools that actually incorporate that into their school system. So there's 4 schools, right, that have
4
that.
schools.
9 dyslexia labs. Oh, but 4, but more to come to 80 students this year, right?
We have 4 schools. We're filling them up.
Yeah.
We need more space. So
that's a great problem
I'm
to
knocking
have.
down the doors of principals to.
Oh, good. Or maybe just move them out of their
go
office.
right. We'll take any space.
So when families have a child that needs more attention, right, whether they have autism, dyslexia, or any type of adaptive orders that we need to really personally address, how do families find you, number one, and then how do you intake them?
Sure. So there's lots of different avenues that come. Our program has gotten really well known, and so I will get calls from people out of town looking for a place to put their child who is dyslexic or has special needs. I work a lot with the admissions directors at schools, because if people will hear there's a special needs program at St. Thomas More, they'll call them, and then they'll direct them to me. Some of it's advertised, and they'll call me directly, go to our website. It's a lot of word of mouth. So I get them from all avenues. Sometimes it's siblings who are already at one school. Oh, I see y'all have a special needs program here. My other son is autistic. Can we, and then it's references from other schools. I'll get some children who are in regular ed who've kind of met their capacity, and so they come to us so they can really get taught at their level.
Okay, because everything is individualized, right, for the student.
Correct.
themselves.
Everything, which is a wonderful aspect of the Rouge program, is that every student is an individual. Every student has a service plan. We meet yearly with the families to talk about their goals, their progress, and where we want them to go. Ms. Hope will have 4 reading groups with her 10 kids, so they'll get taught 1, 2, or 3 at a time on their level, and make sure that they've mastered the skills before moving on. We had the luxury of taking our time and really helping these children grow, whether it be academic, socially, or with life skills needed as they move on.
It's a whole lot of love in that. Like you could just hear it.
It's very rewarding. If you are having a bad day, go sit in our classrooms. And it will just turn everything around.
That's a good invitation too. So Marci, your daughter is a part of this program. Tell us first, when you recognize the opportunity for her to have special attention, and then how you came to know about the Rouge program.
Sure. Thank you for having us here today and
Absolutely.
highlighting this program. It's really important that people know about it. Avery, my husband Charles and I have 2 daughters, Abby and Avery. And Avery was diagnosed with autism she was about 18 months old. And we went through the Early Steps program, the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation, which ultimately became the Emerge Center. And it was upon her completion of the Emerge Center that the Catholic Diocese came and spoke to our little kindergarten class and other representatives of schools around town. And so I heard about the Rouge program, and I was very interested in it because our oldest child had gone through the Catholic school system. And we wanted to raise Avery in the same faith and education program that had been great for our oldest daughter. So they came, and we knew that there was limited space, and so we applied, and I was just thrilled when we were actually accepted, because at that time they were in a small little adjacent storage room next to the gym, and now we have this wonderful room facility with all the kids, but we were really excited to become a part of it because we knew it was something special, and we were just so excited to land a spot.
And how has her experience been? How's Avery doing with
It's been great.
Has she been in it since she's been in kindergarten? Or
Since
first grade?
Since first grade. So we've had the benefit of kind of watching her grow so much socially and intellectually. I mean, her reading and math are really just almost on point with her age. But being with the same teacher, we were with Miss Hope for 3 or 4 years, really lends itself to a little community. Kids in the regular education program morph each year into changes, but they move teachers.
Right.
There is some benefit to sticking with that same teacher in that same class with kids with special needs. They like routine, and they are going to be more open to socializing with kids that they are routinely with.
Gotcha.
And so I've watched her go from being very, not outgoing at all, to really blossoming to some degree with her, and I see it, and I know that the teachers see it too.
Mm-hmm. So she feels like she's a part of that community too as well. Does she go into other classes too? I mean, I know she has her special program too, but are there any type of enrichment classes that she attends where some of the students don't necessarily have autism?
She does. She does get to mainstream to some degree in art classes and religion.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a shutdown with that during COVID, but we're really happy that things are opening back up this fall. She'll get to do music, art, and PE. She might not be happy about PE, but she's going to do it.
Nobody likes PE on a hot summer day in South Louisiana, for sure. What's been the impact on your family with these opportunities for Avery? How have you seen changes like at home with her?
Well, you know, if we hadn't had the opportunity to get into this program, I'm not sure where we would be. You know, Baton Rouge has other schools that do help children with disabilities. But to have one that also has the faith component was very important for us. So my family may not have been in Baton Rouge anymore if we didn't have the opportunity to go into this program. We would have looked to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
But we got lucky, and this program started up, and I mean, I was very impressed that the Diocese stepped up. I mean, I know the program has been around for a while, but to actually have this sort of adaptive classroom and a classroom to really service kids with autism, it was new. New, and it's a component that we needed, and I was really pleased that the Diocese really stepped up and took charge of making it happen for people in our community, and it meant a lot to my family. So.
Yeah. Have you seen the kind of because Marci's talking about how autism now, there's such a high awareness of it. But is it actually something new? You know, has it been around, you know, longer than what we thought? And kind of the change in, maybe Hope knows this too, the opportunity for things to grow from just people having learning disabilities or dyslexia, things like that, to something a little bit more intense as autism.
Right, I think twofold. I think there is a little more prevalence of it, but I think it's also more identified, and it is a spectrum. So there are children across the board. We have in our general education classes, there are students who are autistic, but they are, you know, the high functioning where they can sit in a class of 20 to 30 kids for an hour, and, you know, but our kids can't quite do that yet. And a lot of times when they're younger, they need the small classes. They're really bright, super smart. But maybe some of their behaviors and needs need to be handled on a smaller setting. But as they're able to go out into a mainstream class, we do. So some of our students do end up going mainstreaming eventually. So we'll kind of wean them into the school instead of the other way around. And some of our students stay with us. We serve, about half of our students are autistic, but we have children with other health impairments, whether it be cerebral palsy. We have some traumatic brain injury or some chromosomal issues going on. We have kids who have ADHD. We have kids with just specific learning disorders where they're just learning on a lower level than their age says they should be. So we definitely have a lot of different variety. And we also have children with Down syndrome, a variety of students.
Wow, so it's the whole spectrum, you know, the whole kind of, I would call it unity of special needs and adaptive needs for our children and for our families too. Let's talk about funding. I mean, it costs a little bit more, right, to enroll your child in this program because there's specific needs and attention in areas that are more specialized, right?
It is, the tuition is expensive. You have half the children in the class.
Right.
So, you know, at Our Lady of Mercy, we have 21 students, but we have 5 adults. You know, and different schools have different makeups depending on their classroom, how the classroom looks. But it's a very low ratio of student to teacher. And we are able to have, you know, the technology to help them and adaptive things in our classroom to help them learn. We need a few more tools, you know, tricks and tools in order to help our kids bring out their best potential. But no, funding is an issue. We do have Louisiana scholarship program we're a part of, ACE, Arete. We also have the school choice program for students with exceptionality, which is a lottery system where the state, you just apply and all you have to do is fill out a simple form and there's no financial assistance, information asked. And literally you just you get back about $600 a month from the state.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they apply that to their tuition.
Gotcha.
And that's a very nice thing to cut a little bit off.
But anybody can donate to the program, right?
Anybody can donate to the
Okay.
program. Yes, you can do that through our website or contacting me or the superintendent in order to.
So we kind of talk about that.
Correct.
Yeah, it is.
And
it's
we're working on
something.
some possible endowments for the future, and we're looking forward because I know
Yeah.
it's not getting any easier.
This is such a gift from Catholic schools to families like that. Talk about that. Talk about how this is a gift. I mean, you were mentioning how you may not even be in this city, where that opportunity. How do you share this with other parents and encourage them to take a look at it when they're in the same situation as you, and they have children similar to Avery that need special attention?
Well, I have to say, the question you asked Kristy earlier, is it more prevalent? And I do think that it is. And so I've kind of used it as a platform to talk to other parents about the autism that I see more often.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody really until Avery was diagnosed.
Right.
But now I come across a lot of people. And I'm always talking about the program that Avery's been a part of because it has really changed our lives in the fact that I'm always worried about Avery's safety. And I feel like she's part of a community at Marci that has opened up their hands and really just let her in and protect her. And that's so important. The education is important, and she has learned so much. But more importantly, I feel like that little campus is home to her. I mean, I'll be sad when the day comes where she has to move. And so I've told everybody that I've come across, people come to me all the time because they know about Avery's condition. And someone has said, talk to Marci, she's been through this. And I say, if you ever get an opportunity to apply for the REACH program, it is expensive, but it's worth it, is that this is an opportunity that you should take for your child because it's more than just sending your child off to school every day. It's sending them off to a loving environment.
Oh, yeah.
Most of what I need is Avery to be social and happy. And learning is also important, but also that she has to be somewhere where she feels comfortable because otherwise she's not going to get to the next step where she's going to be able to, survive in other places.
And Marci was talking about moving on from Marci. Well, we do have our campus at St. Michael High School.
Right.
And those teachers do provide a lot of everyday life skills that they're going to need for when they leave, from interviewing skills to resumes to checkbooking to being independent. So it's tough leaving one school, but they're going to be welcomed with open arms into our next phase.
Well, our time is up. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this incredible ministry that we have here in the Diocese of Baton Rouge. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your witness of Avery, and God bless you and your husband and your commitment to Catholic schools and especially pouring that love into your daughter. And thank you for what you do here, Kristy. It's a beautiful program.
It's a gift. It's a blessing that I'm able to be a part of this.
If you need more information on the St. Margaret Castella program, you can go to their website at csobr.org, and it'll take you to the exceptional needs area. Thank you so much for being with us on Catholic Life. Until next time, God bless you. May He grant you His peace.